There she is. The chicken feeder. And all I did was put a third one in it. So, man, this is getting expensive because I've been buying these elbows. These are the street elbows. They're male on one end and female on the other end. Anyway, I've been paying like $5 each for these, $5.50 or something like that, down at the local convenience store. And holy, so I've got like $15 in elbows, $16 in elbows alone, and another $3 for the pail. So now it's a $20 feeder now. But I was just showing it to my stepfather, and he says if I stick my fingers in here flush with the top, that's only like 2 or 3 inches from this top ring here. So they won't have to stick their head down very far, I don't think. But he recommended that I shave this down a bit lower, so they don't have to stick their head down so far. But the ones I've seen online on YouTube already, where the elbows go in, they have to stick their head in like a lot, way more than this, to get the food. So I think this will be fine. But if it's not, if it does turn out to be some sort of a problem for some reason, because the food is going to be right up to there, up to that line there. It's just going to flow, gravity flow, just going to, because there's the hole right there. So the top of the hole where all the food is going to come rushing in from gravity, it's like right there. So they're not going to have to stick their head down very far. Anyway, if for some reason it causes a problem, I might cut it on an angle because I've got it attached here already, and they don't need to access anything here. They're gonna stick their head down in. So if there is any problem, I might just cut it down on an angle, which is kind of like what I did on the inside. I had cut these on a bit of an angle. Anywho, yeah, I put 3 in there. Oh, and if I don't cut it on an angle, this is the 3.5-inch hole saw that I used to cut the holes. But here's another idea. If I can get this bucket to stay still. Instead of cutting it on an angle, I could use the hole saw. I wish I had a cameraman. That would help a lot. I could use the hole saw and make a round shape here, and hopefully it would be rather smooth that way. But I could cut it on an angle. I could cut a round shape, but honestly, I don't think I need to cut anything, because you can see the top of the elbow, the food is just gonna flow to, well, in the bottom and the top. It's just gonna come out. It's just gonna fall out like a pile of marbles. So it's gonna be right there. It's just gonna be flowing out right there. So that's only I don't know, maybe barely 2 inches. Actually, I have a measuring tape right here. 2 inches exactly to that line. So there's a line here. I don't know if you can see it or not, but that's the top of your horizontal pipe or whatever. That's the top of it there. So there's going to be food flowing out from there down, and I don't see any problem at all. And I think it's going to hold. I think it's going to have a higher capacity than the ones I've seen on YouTube, because they put their elbows on the inside and they only fit 3, and then they're all banging into each other. There's no room for a 4th. And you're losing capacity because the volume, there's not as much volume when you have stuff in here like these big bulky elbows, and they're hollow elbows because the chicken comes in from the side and sticks his head down in, and that's better for rain. But if I wanted a rain protector, I would just put a bigger lid on, which is simple, and I can do that. And I should probably put a bigger lid on it anyway in case they're sitting on here. I don't want them shitting down in the I don't want them having any droppings or whatever. So I'll probably put a big lid on it anyway, a bigger, like sombrero, or keep it inside, which my original plan was to keep it under cover. But to keep the chickens off it, I don't know. I might have to keep the chickens off of it. It's going to have a lid anyway, but maybe a big round lid, and that'll keep anything from falling down in, whether it's rain or bird droppings or anything. And yeah, compared to the other ones that I've seen on YouTube, they don't have to stick their head all the way into this huge tube to get to the bottom. Like the way they do it, they put the tube in and they notch it so the food can fall down in the notch, and the chicken has to reach in all the way down and peck in there. This is a 3-inch elbow, 3-inch diameter here. This is a 3-inch elbow here. Well, yeah, 3-inch elbow. And they're not going to have to stick their head all the way down in and around the corner like the other ones, because, like I was explaining earlier, it's going to flow to here. So they're only going to have to stick their head in an inch or two. Well, 2 inches, yeah. So, I think it's going to be easier on the birds. It could sit right on the ground. It's going to be better for capacity and volume because there's no big bulky elbows here. Any extra capacity or flow is going to be external rather than internal. And if that's not enough for you, you could stack another bucket on here upside down, or you could put a lid on with a PVC or ABS pipe coming out with as long as you wanted the filler tube to be. So you could even expand on this if you wanted to. You could put 4 elbows in it. I've only done 3. There's room for a 4th one there. You could actually, I don't know, if you spaced it out properly, like 2 here instead of 1, you could have a 6, like a 6 shot revolver. I want to look at it like a revolver drum with 6 in it, but yeah, there's definitely room for 4 or 6 of these. It's going to have more capacity. You can expand on it and have a bigger lid. If you're worried about rain, put a bigger lid on it, or just put your regular lid on it and attach like a big pan or something to it, or a big bowl to keep the rain off, or to keep the birds out, or whatever. And the more overhang you have on your extra lid or on your secondary lid, the more rain coverage you would have. But I only did 3 sides because I might just put it up against the wall, undercover in the coop, or there's a shaded part of the coop, or a shaded part of the run, I guess. So I might have it undercover there. I don't know yet. But there's just an update, an update on this project. So I just did another video of my PT Cruiser collision repair update. I got the fender put on the thing and the headlight put on the vehicles. So this is my other update video for today. And here's another tip. They say, and I did this. This is what I did myself. I marked out I plotted all the spots. I plotted those 2 first, and then I plotted this one today. And I drill my initial hole regularly like I normally would. And remember, there's a floor here, so you want to be up off the floor. Plus, so you can't drill right on the bottom because there's a bit of a lip here. You know what I mean? there's a bit of a recess there, so you got to make room for the floor plus your flange, because there's a bigger part of the flange on the inside, and it sticks out like the opposite of this. So make room for that. And when I drill my first hole, because there's a little pilot hole here, when I drill my pilot hole, I drill it in forward, and then as soon as that goes through, I switch my drill to reverse. They say to run this in reverse when you're cutting through plastic, and it'll save ripping the thin plastic, or I don't know. Apparently it grabs and rips the plastic, so you run this in reverse, and that's what I did. All these holes, I did the initial hole in forward, and then the big, because it's going to go through this initial hole first, and once that breaks through, I switch it to reverse, and I ran the holes in reverse. Yeah, so you might want to consider that. And that's it for my updates for today. I tell you, this thing is sturdy. It's really sturdy. Oh, buddy. I think it's time to quit for the day. You want to go get some kibbles? Is it time for your kibbles? Tail wagger? Tail wagging. Alright guys, see you next time.